in racing. It's time to recap it. And who better to do it than Michael and Magic? Two bros/pros who cover the highs and lows of racing around the globe on every one of their shows. Real fans look forward to these guys and their last stunts, cause they know they're not talking out of their royal ascot. What they say makes sense. So ladies and gents, sit back and relax as Blinkers Off presents The Magic Mike Show, where you hear the experts speak. The Magic Mike Show. Tune into the show every week. The Magic Mike Show. You can trust the show is the bomb because it's being brought to you by RacingDudes.com.
What's up, everybody? I'm Magic.
And I'm Mike.
And this is The Magic Mike Show, episode 256. Mr. Samich. It's been an interesting day here because it was rainy, sun was out, and then about 2 minutes ago, full cloud coverage again. So a little interesting weather happening here in California. We'll batten down the hatches. How you doing out there?
Doing great, man. It was awesome. We went to the beach this weekend, got some nice sun in. It was like 75 degrees each day, so it was great. Go out, hang out on the beach, eat some crab, and have a good time, man. Also got to see some great horse racing. It was a good weekend of racing again, and I'm looking forward to this show. I think it's going to be a fun one. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we talked about seafood. Was it just Thursday? You were getting ready to have some seafood, and we talked about crab and how still haven't been able to try crab legs where I've really had the bravery to go do it. But I do love crab meat in the pasta, and then you get to go have a bunch of fresh crab caught right off the Carolina coast. That's pretty damn delicious.
Yeah, baby. It was good. It was fun, too. It's nice because it's like a walking area, so you just walk to a bunch of different restaurants, grab some cocktails, and have a good time. Haven't been able to do that in a long time, so it was nice to be able to do that. Well, still social distancing. I am one shot in at least, but still social distancing and getting back to some normalcy.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, I hope as much crab and other delicious seafood that you ate, you're still a little hungry today because you and I both have a little bit of crow to eat on the show. Our Pick 4 tickets, we took some stands. We made some statements, made some bold decisions, and each one of us, it kind of didn't work out for us. But hey, if you combined our tickets, or if you punched in my ticket from the show pre-scratches, you won. I can't take credit for that because the horse, baby. Yeah, I can't take credit for backdooring it. But we had was it Matt Oates? One of our followers actually did hit it, and I was like, man, I always wait for the scratches. I should have just done that instead, because then I would have hit. But we'll get there. What is the best thing that you saw over the weekend on the beach?
Well, this is actually really easy for me. So you may or may not notice that right there's a bunch of boxes. So I know the text chain knows about this, but the general public does not. Last Saturday, I had a good little day over at Keeneland. I'm sorry, I had a good little day over at Sam Houston Race Park, and they run a little bit later, and so I may or may not have been having a few cocktails and ended up cashing the pick 6. And I decided to go on eBay and have a little bit of a shopping spree. So I'm a collector. I love just the old trinkets and everything. I don't have any racing bobbleheads. So I went on and bought every single one that was under $10 or so on eBay. Totally forgot about it. Didn't tell my wife. We come back and this is right outside our door. So there's about 8 packages. We've got Jerry Bailey in now. We've got Ben's Cat in from Laurel Park. We've got Funny Side in from Kentucky. We've got 4-Star Dave from Saratoga. She doesn't know there's about 8 more boxes on the way, but I'll have a nice little bobblehead collection soon. So that was the best thing that I saw. It was pretty funny. She said, "Why do we get all these packages?" I'm like, "Ooh, oh yeah." Wow.
That's incredible. That's really, you texted. I don't think you told us just how many you bought. I remember you brought it. If you told us, I was pretty busy this weekend, so I might have missed it. But I remember the Funny Side one. I didn't remember a lot of those other ones. That's great. Yeah, and everybody in the comments section, Drunky Bane, gotta love it. Drunk splurges. What did I just? Oh, I drunkenly bought more alcohol the other day. That's what I did. Did I tell you about that one?
You did.
Yeah. Suddenly there's still most of that beer's in there. I was trying over the weekend because the best thing that I saw, we had not one but 2 baby showers on Sunday. We had a normal baby shower where there's games and sort of thing that my mother-in-law and sister-in-law put together, and that was a huge hit. We had almost 30 different people signed in to stare at their computer screens at us for an hour. And then we took about an hour and a half break. And then I was able to crack out the alcohol. And then my mom put something together with her family because they all kind of went together to get us our stroller and car seat and stuff. So, or not stroller and the infant car seat, not the regular car seat. But so we had a couple of those, and it was just we got done. And my wife is used to, she's at 7 weeks away from giving birth. So she's at the point where she likes to take naps during the day a lot, understandably. I was right there with her. We got done with the second one, and it was, I think, probably 3:30 in the afternoon our time. We both were like, I don't want to do life anymore. I just want to go to bed. Between that, because then we also had daylight savings time, so we lost an hour of sleep, and we were up until almost midnight the night before trying to prepare everything because we had to decorate a backstop. You guys watching the Magic Mike Show live or the replay, thanks for watching. You just get this. But for a shower, you really want to go all out and make it look nice because it's not a bunch of schlubby guys talking about horse racing. It's my beautiful wife and celebrating her. So we had to, stay up till so we were very, very tired. I woke up this morning. I was still in a fog. I was like, I don't know what day it is. I know how to do a podcast, but do I have to do the Magic Mike Show Monday or do I have to handicap during breakfast? Because I couldn't even remember what day it was.
Yeah, those baby showers all kind of all of the Zooms now run together. It's just like you just going from Zoom to this to that, and you're like, me and my buddies play poker on Zoom, and you've got obviously work on Zoom, all that kind of stuff. We do the podcast here. It's not Zoom, but it's a similar means. But it's crazy how you just kind of jump from thing to thing, just staring at the computer screen after a certain amount of time just wipes you out. It's
that plus the pressure of the just the spotlight being on you. It's one thing when you and I are sitting here talking about it, but this is easy stuff when it's a baby shower and you and I aren't the center of attention. it's a little, but I only got told I was podcasting once during the first one, so that's good. And it's good. I purposely was. I think I'd made a mistake, or I'd read something wrong during the game, and so there was like a little bit of miscommunication. So I looked at Celeste and just go, all right, hang on, back it up. So, and I just jumped in like I was, took that pause like I was going to edit this part out and then start over again. But it worked because it broke the tension and it, made a bunch of people laugh, and then it worked. So sometimes podcasting during a non-podcast Zoom conference with your family and friends, it's okay to do, Mike. Yeah. It's okay.
Well, you just practiced 256 episodes for your baby shower.
This is very true. That's what I said. But yeah, it was a great time. We had a lot of fun, and just like you, a ton of boxes that I've been breaking down boxes very steadily the last probably week and a half. I've got a really nice sharp box cutting knife and just shut it all down. Recycling is right there. Good to go.
Neither of us know what's in the box for sure reasons.
I really don't. Things show up, and it's all from Amazon. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot 4 months ago we said that this was something we wanted. Cool. So, it's pretty awesome. But what the people want, Mike, they want to hear our thoughts on the Anita Pick 4 tickets that we gave out on the last episode of the Magic Mike Show. So we're going to go through those. We've got a couple of key races to talk about, and then we're going to also look at the Rebel Stakes and the Azeri Stakes because a lot of good horses in both of those, and we want to talk about the impacts moving forward. Let's get into it, Mike. Riders up! I didn't give myself enough of a pause last time, so I got to make sure I do it.
Hey, Magic. Did you watch the Rocket Hour this morning?
I did. I saw he got to break the news about Everybody Racing News working with Manscaped.
Yeah, man. Manscaped.com sent us what they call the perfect package, which totally fits, by the way. It's got lots of good stuff inside.
Oh, yeah. So they got this electric razor. They call it the Lawnmower 3.0. It's cordless. It's waterproof. It's rust resistant, so you can take it in the shower, so it makes it easier for the little hairs and stuff to go away. It's easy to clean, which is nice, and it's a really safe way to keep yourself pretty well manicured down below the waist.
Like a freshly trimmed Arlington Park turf course.
Oh, yes, sir. That's great. Just like that, the perfect package also includes a ball spray toner, which sounds weird, but it'll keep you feeling fresh even if you're coming off of a layoff. And there's also this anti-chafing deodorant. You can use that to protect you when you're sweating out that inquiry at the track. It's all really great stuff in this thing.
The perfect package also comes with the premium boxers, which feel amazing when you put them on when you're done cleaning.
God, dude, I put the boxers on like I was a joke. I was like, I'm gonna try these on, and then I was like, oh my god, like this stuff actually works. And what's gonna feel even more amazing, Mike? If you go to manscaped.com, you use the promo code MAGICMIKE, MAGICMIKE, all one word.
That's for 20% off plus free shipping on your first order.
But wait, Mike, there's more.
Oh, only for the Magic Mike Army. If you use the code Magic Mike and send us a screenshot of your order, we're going to let you pick a future episode. Well, we'll draw one person to let you pick a future episode of what track we're going to cover.
Oh yeah, and not only that, you get to send us your pick 4 ticket in advance. We're going to put it on the screen, and you get to battle head to head on the Magic Mike Show with the experts.
Wait, Aaron's joining us for an episode?
Go to manscaped.com, use promo code MAGICMIKE. That's all one word. It's going to get you 20% off, plus free shipping, plus you'll get to be a big part of a future episode of the Magic Mike Show.
Make sure you support the Magic Mike Army. Use the code MAGICMIKE, 20% off.
Your balls will thank you. All right, Mike, let's take a look at the late pick 4 sequence from this past Saturday at Anita Park on March 13th, starting with race 6. This was a field of really slow, bad, low-level claimers at Anita, going a tricky distance. I really was excited about this race in particular because it's a low-level claiming event where I'm not very good at a distance 7 furlongs that's very tricky for a lot of these horses. And so it makes for an interesting challenge. We both included the winner, number 2, Tobacco Road. We didn't get the 15-1 morning line. Apparently, we're not the only 2 hombres that liked this horse because bet down to was that almost 7-1, just a little under 7-1. But Mike, a big reason I like this horse. I liked the jockey trainer combo. They're 4 for 12 now because they also Emily Ellingwood and Ryan Hansen teamed up to win a race Sunday at Santa Anita. And I like that we were getting a bug allowance when you're at these low level claimers. Mike, you want every advantage you can get. You like this horse because he was 4-1 versus similar 2 back, and now we were getting 15-1 on the morning line. And so you correctly said, if anything, there's value with this horse. These are inconsistent horses, and there is form in the back for this horse to go ahead and win this. So now that I've taken away from you all the reasons why you were right, go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I thought this was just a great example of an overreaction. And that last race, and this is a lot of times what happens in these lower level claimers. The last race is the race a lot of people look at when they're handicapping, and the 15-1 morning line was just way too high here. I'm happy we were able to get this horse. Kind of wish I had played the Super since 4 of the horses I used finished 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got to say, I thought Rinse and Repeat ran really well too here, who ends up running second. That's someone I probably want back at some point. Rinse and Repeat will win at this level eventually. It might take a little bit of time, but if you're going to give me 12-1 every single race, every single time out, I'm interested in Rinse and Repeat all day, every day. I thought this was actually a really good ride by Emily Ellingwood. She did a great job of kind of pressing the pace a little bit against your favorite, who is a 5 Oil Can Knight, being able to hold the rail and then just keep willing this horse to the finish line as Rinse and Repeat tried to come back and get it. I will also officially say I'm done with Horse Grady, who you said I could have been done with on Thursday, and I stubbornly added here, ended up finishing last, and didn't look like he really wanted to run. Just kind of looked old. So Horse Grady is probably one that I'm chucking out of here. Rinse and Repeat is one I'm definitely playing back, and it'll be interesting to see where these horses end up because they'll all run against each other again. I swear we've talked about these exact horses against each other before on a recap show.
Oh, yeah. And they'll keep showing up, and because there's enough of them at Santa Anita that they usually get a good-sized field, you're going to see it in a lot of the late pick 4s that we end up showing up. I want to touch on the 4-horse Rinse and Repeat because this is a horse you liked a lot on the show. I didn't make the ticket for me, but I did like horse has done well at Santa Anita. My worry with this horse, why I ultimately left him off, is I was like, yeah, he's won at Santa Anita, but in 12 starts he's finished second 4 times. Well, now it's 13 starts, Santa Anita, he's finished second 5 times, but didn't have a great break, and Ruben didn't give up, gave this horse every chance to win. Is a square Eddie, so you would think any kind of dirt sprints, open or especially state bred, is going to be good for this horse. Oil Can Knight was the favorite, so it's going to be hard for me to just sit here and feel like a genius when I say play this horse next out. However, he got claimed by Mark Glatt, who is probably the best dirt sprint trainer at Santa Anita, who's at least on the up and up all the time. So I love to see that he's going to show up there, and I bet Edwin Maldonado, who's ridden this horse a ton of times in the past, is going to ride with him. Horse Greedy, listen, my thing was I was against him because I think he's just over the hill. And yeah, it worked out this time. I've been wrong about that plenty of times, and it was a little risky because he was taking a class drop here for me to go against him, but it worked out for me in this case. But it's one of those times that it made sense why you would want to play him just because of the class drop here.
Yeah, and that's the main reason I was on him, is that it again goes back to I thought that there was value in the 6-1 morning line, and I was going deep here. I didn't want him to be the one that beats me. One thing I do want to say about Rinse and Repeat, I think a lot of people are prejudiced against the quarter horse lines, that they'll see those quarter horse lines inside a Santa Anita form, and they'll just kind of throw the horse out. At these low levels, I think it's really important to look at those horses seriously, because a lot of those there is a decent move from one to the other. And even if they don't run that well at that Los Al night track, I mean, it's a very odd track. It's almost like it's a chuck race anyway, because they're going around a sharper turn at a weird distance of 4.5 furlongs most of the time. But to me, it's not a reason to not include a horse. I know a lot of people that just auto chuck any Los Al horses. And I think that's at this low level, when you're talking about, the $10,000, $12,000 claimers, they kind of fit here in a lot of ways. And sometimes they're protected over at Los Al, and then they'll run them back over here for a claiming tag because they know that they're better than the Los Al field they're facing, and then they can get the claiming tag here at Santa Anita. So Rinse and Repeat was one of those where I thought definitely floated up because of those quarter horse lines on there, and I don't think that's a reason you should overlook horses at this low level at Santa Anita.
He was also coming out of a $14,000 claiming race that was that the same one that the winner was coming out of?
Yeah.
It was. Okay, and he had just the 4 horse wins repeat just missed third by a nose. So you look at it and say, well, he got fourth, but he just missed by a nose. And again, just like with this race, he kind of didn't have the best start. Ruben didn't give up. That was Ruben's first time running. And, for him to show fight and get up there for third is a good one. I am one of those people who's guilty of probably chucking the low South form more than I should. I really have to fall to really like a horse a lot to want to play him, but that's something that I need to work on. Let's move on to the second race, if you're ready, Mike, of the late pick 4 sequence, the Grade 3 $100,000 San Simeon Stakes, race 7 on the card. Your winner, Gregorian Chant, perfect morning line here from John White, 7-2 on the morning line, 7-2 as he goes off. On the show, I used him, you didn't, and a big reason I was on him is because when his first time ever turf sprinting, which was last time out, he got rain softening up the turf just a little bit, and I was like, that's going to help him. He's going to get that same setup here. Track ended up being rated good. He gets the job done, but there almost was, like, looking back on this, Mike, you like Shasha Shake Me Up. He got scratched, and his stablemate Sambaye stayed in, and watching this replay, I'm like, shit, we both should have probably been clued in here that Sambaye was probably going to have a shot if Miller scratched one of his horses, especially a horse that you liked.
Yeah, I ended up using Barristan the Bold as my third horse in, who ended up going off at 45-1. Didn't finish last. Bob and Jackie took care of that for me. So
sorry.
So don't worry about that. But yeah, I agree with you. What we talk about when you have 2 horses in and one of them scratches, it tells you what you really feel about the other horse. And Sambaye ran a monster race here. Mm-hmm. To me, the story of this race, and I hate to be negative, is that Jolie Olympica just really didn't show up. I mean, when you look at the buyer speed figure, Gregorian Chant runs a 95 and wins the race. That's if you tell me that the winning horse ran a 95, I would have told you there's no way Jolie Olympica lost, right? I mean, she's run a 95 or better in 4 of her 5 U.S. starts. So not the most impressive run here from Jolie Olympica, but absolutely no excuse. Got a dream set up early without too much pace. I mean, 45-3 is not that fast for that Santa Anita turf, and just was not able to hang on late. But Gregorian Chant and Sambaye both ran monster races. I mean, when you listen back to the call, you can hear it, how it's going to be Gregorian Chant who wins by 3 at the top of the stretch based on the way that Frank Mariani calls the race. And then all of a sudden, Sambaye just digs in and would not let Gregorian Chant by until the absolute last second. I also got to give credit to the jockey here. Look, Juan Hernandez did a great job of keeping Gregorian Chant closer. One of the reasons I specifically said I didn't like this horse was how far back I thought it would be in a race that didn't have a ton of pace in a short field. This horse was 6, but this horse was 4 lengths back, not 10 lengths back. I think that made a huge difference when they turned for home. So great ride by Juan Hernandez. Great job by the whole crew of Peter Miller, or not Peter Miller's crew, by this is Balthus, right?
Phil D'Amato.
D'Amato, sorry, I'll get there eventually.
It was one of those 3.
Yeah, I just slam donkeys with those 3. By D'Amato's crew to get this horse ready to roll and get up for the victory. And I'm excited to see what this horse does sprinting down the road. I will tell you, probably fading this horse at 5 or 5.5 furlongs if we do ship anywhere. I think this Santa Anita turf course is really set up well for Gregorian Chant.
And to go off of that, a point that you brought up, I believe, on the show, that the 6 furlong races, because of the run-up, they're closer to 6.5 than they are to a 6 furlong race. And when they go to Del Mar after they leave Santa Anita, they're 5 furlong races. I'm with Mike. I think at that point, I don't know. I know the field sizes are bigger at Del Mar usually, but I don't know if D'Amato's going to look at a turf sprint like the Green Flash or something and think that that's a good spot for Gregorian Chant, just because 5 furlongs. I mean, he barely got it done at 6. Hell, he barely got it done at 6.5 in his last one. So I will say, to your credit, on the show, you said you didn't like this horse at short price. He was 7-2 second on the morning line. And you said that you felt he needed a 5 to 6 point buyer improvement to be able to win, because that would have meant he was up there with Jolie Olympica's best. And he only goes, his career best was 94. He gets a 95 here. Jolie Olympic, I think I'm with you. She was just the big disappointment. And I had started to hear a couple people questioning in the last week or two if she might have just peaked and like there was a little bit of a blip and then this is it for her. Because as we talk about these fillies and mares, when they're done, man, that wall hits them real hard.
Yeah, I mean, look, the last 2 have been pretty bad now. Yeah. As short price favorites and in different running styles, neither worked. So, I mean, look, Sambaye, this is kind of rejuvenating the career. And Gregorian Chant is the second time her sprinting. I mean, this is a field that she should have put away, and she didn't. So, moving forward, I'm probably going to try and beat her at a short price, and I'm definitely concerned about what she can do moving forward.
Last question I have for you with this race. We'll move on. Will you ever play Bob and Jackie again in your life?
Never say never.
It's a 2-horse turf route. He's in it. Do you play him or do you play the other horse?
Oh, probably play him because he's got speed at least. I know he'll be in the lead. Like seriously, I don't mind my play here in Bob and Jackie. I just wish the horse ran better. Like it was inexplicable how bad this horse ran. It was sitting on the outside of Sambaye in the perfect stalking spot where the horse that shouldn't quit because it's been going a mile and cutting back to 6.5. I'm sitting there watching the race like, all right, I thought Bob and Jackie had a better shot than Sambaye around the turn. Opposite directions.
Well, speaking of which, let's talk about how our ticket patterns went in opposite directions in the next race here, which is the Grade 1 $300,000 Beholder Mile Stakes. This was a very exciting race because not only this, but we had another similar high-end distaff race happening at Oaklawn Park. We'll talk about in a minute. So I feel like last time this year we were talking about how great the distaff division is. I'm going to say that again. This year, the distaff division is great, but it's actually better than last year's because at least we have some horses we can trust moving forward. Swiss Skydiver gets the job done. 8-5 on the morning line, 7-5 as the favorite. So again, a great job by John White on the morning line here. This is my time to eat crow, as Michael Myers brought up a while ago. Swiss Mother Bleeping Skydiver is a beast. Listen, this really impressed me. I made her the number one star. I stand by it. Some people thought I was biased against Bob Baffert. No, I really thought that no matter who trained the other horses, this was the best performance. And even better, you did.
Yeah, I did. I tried to talk you into her on the show. I tried to explain why this horse was different than Maxfield coming back 2 weeks ago, where it's you look back at this is a drop in class for her off her last 3 races, which is crazy to say. It's a Grade 1 Beholder Mile at a distance that she, you mentioned on the show she hadn't won at a mile before. She had won at mile 16th and some similar distances there, but she probably wants to go longer. So this is not like she's shipping across the country, not going her best distance, but she just lost to Monomer Girl, and I realized that so did Harvest Moon. But we go back before that. She beat Authentic, lost to Art Collector, all of which horses obviously would be huge favorites in this spot. Also, they can't run in it. Look, this is one of those spots where she was just clearly the best horse in this field, head and shoulders over it, and she ran like it. This wasn't even close. This was geared down the entire race. She didn't run a step. She went out there and yogged around these horses and won for fun. And as time goes by, ends up getting second for Baffert. Runs a good race. We both use this horse. We talked about how this was kind of the unknown horse in here. Horse ends up being the second best, but never, ever, ever was beating Swiss Skydiver in this spot. I mean, as soon as she got clear racetrack, top of the stretch, she was gone. 7-5 will be one of the biggest gifts anyone will get on any horse all year. Swiss Skydiver, she should have been 2-5 in this field. And I tried to get you on her on Thursday, man.
You did. So I'd like to, if we can, take a couple of minutes here to discuss, because for me, the show, we like, especially on Mondays, we like to try and educate people. So maybe, Mike, you can help me work through this, and we can help some other people as well. So these are all the reasons I was against Swiss Skydiver. I wrote them down because I knew I was going to remember them all. First time without Lasix, very long layoff. It was her first start after an extremely grueling 3-year-old year. I mean, she had an amazing campaign last year, but she ran a lot, and she never had a break like this. She only had 5 recorded works coming into this, which concerned me. That last work was too fast, according to her trainer, and then she immediately got on a plane and shipped across the country. She coming from a lower percentage barn and brought a very low percentage jockey who's not familiar with Santa Anita, like everyone she was racing against. So you're correct that she was head and shoulders above the rest of this field from a talent and class perspective, but based off of all of those factors, forgetting who the horse is, did I make the right decision generally, like long term, to see all those factors as red flags and try and play against her at such a short price?
I think you did, but that's because I think that you're underestimating what she did in those 9 races, and you're overestimating what was in this field. Like I think that if you put all of those together, and you said that the horses in the field all ran equal buyers last time out, or the last 5 races, and that they all had faced equal competition, then yes, you were dead on. If you look at Maxfield, he was not head and shoulders buyer-wise over that field. He had not faced better competition than everyone else in the last multiple races, right? In this case, you have a horse that literally was head and shoulders buyer-wise over this field. I mean, she was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think one other horse this field's run 100. I think she'd run like 5 of them, right? I mean, so like we're not talking about you need your A effort to be able to win. You're talking about you need your B+ effort, and you'll probably air these horses. As far as the workout thing, look, you said recorded workouts. That's the key word. We have no idea how much she worked before that. As far as the trainer saying she went too fast, I've said this before. I will say this again. trainers lie all the
Yep.
time. Don't trust a trainer when they talk. They because you know why he said that? So he could run faster to the window and bet a ton of money on this horse. For me, a couple of those, and then the McPeak Alvarado thing. Yeah, I mean, that's just true. You're right. But sometimes those barns have this horse, and you have to take this horse differently than anything else in their barn because this horse can make up for so many other things.
Yeah.
The horse also won over this track. That to me was the key. Like, because you mentioned she never didn't run it, and like she's won over the track, and that makes a big difference when you're shipping in somewhere.
Yeah, and I think when I was what I meant by that was she trained somewhere else and then came in without an actual like work over it. But she did,
Right.
yeah, she won the San Diego Oaks last year. And one of my knocks on her, was that, yeah, she won the San Diego Oaks, but she beat 3 other horses and none of them were route horses that should have been, like, she should have won that easily. So, but yeah, anyways, I was wrong. You were on Team Swiss, so it was you, Dr. Miranda, who gave that out on the show, said that was a good single on top. And then Ricky,
Made a
right? Because
wonderful-
Aaron and Jared and I.
Yeah, I made a wonderful picture on Twitter of tag team wrestling that was pretty hilarious.
That actually was a really great one. Yeah, I'll see if I can find that. I'll pull it up here. Okay, so hopefully, those factors I think in general are like, I'm going to keep using those. But what Mike said was, if it's only going to take your B plus effort to beat these horses, it's fine. As time goes by, she's probably the best older filly on the West Coast, right? As far as dirt goes, is that what you learned from this?
Yeah, I mean, well, she will be everywhere again this year, I assume. The way they campaigned her last year, I would not categorize her as any coast of a horse. Like she'll run in Kentucky, she'll run in Florida. I wouldn't be shocked if we see her all over the place. Now, you may correct me now and say that she's staying in California, but she could travel anywhere, and I think she's one of the best horses. I think it's her and Monomer, right? And it'll be interesting to see how they end up.
Sorry, I might have misspoke. I was talking about as time goes by. I might have misspoken. I'm sorry.
Yeah. As time goes by, is clearly the second best horse in here, but she's clearly not as good as everyone else. With the caveat of me saying yet. This is also the horse that has the most upside in this field because it's lightly raced and it's an improving Baffert horse. So if she keeps to improve, I think there is some upside for as time goes by.
Who's by American Pharoah and is a half sister to Will Take Charge and Take Charge Indy. So a lot of talent in those bloodlines, and they are all related to Omaha Beach and Warfront. There's everybody's all related.
So what you're telling me is that as time goes by, he needs to switch barns and go onto the turf. Give Rudy Brissett a shot with her.
Oh boy! Question here. Well, I'll make it a question. Michael Meyer says she's the Breeders' Cup Classic winner, and she loves distance. There was talk that she might go to the Classic last year. She ultimately went to the Distaff. Mike, what do you think? Is she the Classic winner?
I would not bet her at any odds right now. I think it's a touch early for that, especially since McPeak didn't take a shot last year. When you beat Authentic and then you don't take your shot, that concerns me. That I'm not sure we'll ever see him take it.
We will return to this division in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and look at Race 9 here, even though all of our tickets now are officially out. Race 9 was a state-bred turf sprint allowance, which I just love those. But hey, I actually got this one right. I don't know that you should have gotten this one wrong on the show. This was your third pick. You went too deep here, and this was your third pick, so I'm not going to really knock you for missing this one. But the reason I say we both probably should have hit this, the 9 Cerulean, which almost caused the famous divorce a couple of months ago, Cerulean had every chance to win this, and he lugged in. And Mike, I swear, I think he got stepped on because as soon as he lugged in, his stride just shortened right up, and he fell off. And Bench Judge was able to win. Is the 5-2 favorite? It would have been 3-1 on Cerulean, so not much difference in the odds there. But did you feel like you had made the right bet here, the right decision to pass on Bench Judge?
I mean, this is one of those situations where I guess I'm happy I didn't have Gregorian Chan on the ticket because this would have really pissed me off. And this race sucked. I was all over the place in tournaments. I had 4 horses here to win different tournaments, ranging from $3,000 to $15,000, and the 9 was one of those horses, and didn't quite get the job done. So that wasn't fun. Yeah, and the 1 and the 9 were the 2 horses I used. They finished second and third, and the 5, third went in, ends up winning the race. No, I wasn't upset that I didn't use Bench Judge. Like I still think the 9 horse is the better horse at a bigger price, and maybe I should have put Bench Judge in instead of Table for 10, but I kind of wanted to have Pratt in the last race if he's riding in that spot. So I look back at this, and the mistake was not singling Swiss on both tickets, and then I could have gotten to Bench Judge, but I still wouldn't have gotten to the 2. So it's one of those situations where kind of hindsight 2020. But yeah, I didn't mind having it. I felt we were all over this race, and like you said, I mean, just a bad step for the 9, and then it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, and I didn't even the Beholder Mile kicked my ticket out, and that was also the last race that I had to cover on Saturday. I didn't watch the finale when it was live. I didn't notice it until Nick Feldman, who's up here on the screen, Heartbreaker on Cerulean, looked great, and then Just No Juice. I think Nick had a lot of money on Cerulean, or a good amount of money, because Nick went off on Twitter a little bit, and it was, I mean, I shouldn't laugh because I feel bad that he didn't hit, but that clued me in that I really needed to pay attention to that, so I appreciate you tipping me off to that one. You talked about, if you'd singled Swiss, would you have gotten a bench judge? I used Bodacious and Bang for Your Buck. They were both coming out of the same race, in which one of them broke the maiden, the other one is still a maiden, and I had waffled back and forth about using both, using neither. Because I could afford to, I used them both. If I don't use them, you heard all those reasons against Swiss Skydiver. I wasn't going to add her. Like,
Right.
I can't sit here and claim, well, if I just had not done that, I would add. I was completely against Swiss, so I wasn't going to hit this thing either way if she won. I do find it interesting that Bodacious, the maiden, went off as your 4-1 third choice. Did you catch that?
I did not. On the show, you asked me why I didn't use them. That race was not good.
That race was bad.
The race I watched the replay. I'm like, why? No, don't play any of these horses. And this Love was another one coming out of that same race and ends up running 6. So you have a bunch of horses that were running together. It's often good to watch the replay, because I went into that replay watching it, hoping I could make a case for Bang for Your Buck, and that was going to be the horse that I was only one I was going to use from that race. And I watched it. I'm like, this race is terrible. I don't want anyone from this race. And that was helpful in this spot, because I was able to chuck 3 horses out that I think other people used.
Yeah. Oh, my Mars. Nick had a tough day. Oh, he had a huge daily double on CZ Rocket Concert Tour. Very nice. Pressing the opinion. All right. So, okay. I'll take it back then. I was trying to make Nick feel better. Nick's like, no, I still made money. All right, fine. Good on you. I'm happy that you made money. All right, Mike, let's go ahead and talk about the, the Azaria Stakes at Oaklawn Park. It was a grade 2 race. I'm going to pull this up here on the screen just a second here. The reason we want to bring this up is because this is also the older female dirt division, and we just talked about what Swiss Skydiver was able to do in the Beholder Mile. So now this race, Mike, we had Latruska facing off against She Dares the Devil, who's making her big return from her 3-year-old season. We haven't seen her since October, but she's your Kentucky Oaks winner. Beat Swiss Skydiver in that race. A great race between these two, both very clearly headed off to bigger races. What's interesting is that because Monomer Girl is Brad Cox's #1 star, and she likes Oaklawn, he's bringing her back to Oaklawn, and he's sending She Dares the Devil to Churchill for the La Troyenne Stakes. Latruska is going to face Swiss Skydiver and Monomer Girl, and I love that McPeak, after the Beholder Mile, said, we're going to go hunt Monomer this year. That's their goal. The goal might be the Classic at the end of the year. The goal right now, Mike, where's Monomer? Where's Monomer? And they're going to go hunt her because he's mad that Swiss didn't beat her in the distaff. I love this. What do you think about it?
Oh, man, I love the fact that he's hunting her. I want to see the best horses face each other, and I like it when they're willing to all ship around and face each other. By the way, Swiss gets a 101 buyer for not trying. So
Yes.
Monster buyer, too, from Swiss. I think we have to at least mention that. When you compare that to the buyers here, which both came back 89 for She Dares the Devil and Latruska, you got to think they're a step behind him. I thought She Dares the Devil kind of had it all her own way, too, was able to make the lead. The 3-horse Latruska got pinched back in the first turn, then had to swing 3 wide in the second turn. I would take Latruska out of this race over She Dares the Devil. Now, this was also She Dares the Devil's first race campaign-wise. So she may be able to take a step forward here second time out as a 4-year-old. That would be the reason why you like She Dares the Devil out of this race. Latruska has been running consistently, should be in pretty good form right now. The upside there, you probably know who she is at this point. You could make an argument we don't fully know who She Dares the Devil is quite yet. I mean, neither of these are touching Monomer and Swiss, though, right? Like, that's the bottom line here. Like, those are the two best older fillies. I don't see really how you can get excited about one of these for third, but I don't see how you get past Monomer and Swiss right now.
What excuse me, sorry. What I'm most intrigued by right now is, and we gotta have to wait a month for the Apple Blossom, but I really want to see what the pace setup on paper is going to look like, because Latruska should have been up closer. You talked about she got pushed back a little bit. She should have been up closer on the pace. That's where she does her best running. Swiss Skydiver, we saw that she could because she got pinched back on the rail, which I thought was another reason it was nice that a very nice, impressive win from her. But she likes to be up on the front or just off the pace. And Monomer Girl doesn't like to be very far behind. So the pace setup alone is going to be interesting. I'm very excited by this, but the comments have really been blowing up most of the show. People want it. As soon as we start talking about Swiss Skydiver, everybody wants to know what we think about her versus Monomer Girl. So let me pull up a couple ones here. We talked about that one. Somebody had asked, there it is, Chris Milliel. What's the morning line look like if Monomer Girl and Swiss match up in the Apple Blossom? I think that's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, let's assume it's a 6-horse field because there's not going to be a ton of people that want to line up with those two. I think Monoboy should be your 4-5 favorite, and Swiss should be 7-5 or 8-5. And that's my personal. I mean, I would bet Monoboy anything over even money. I think there's 3 groups. We'll go with 3 groups. There's Monomoy, then there's a line, and there's Swift, and then there's a line, and there's the rest of the fillies. I think Monomoy Girl is head and shoulders above Swiss Skydiver. Maybe not head and shoulders, but at least I think she's 2 lengths out there. I think she proved it in the distaff last year. I think she's going to prove it again when they face off. And I think it's going to be tough here because I do think Swiss Skydiver is going to have a little bit of more pressure closer to the pace, and Monomoy is going to sit the perfect trip right behind if Latruska does end up going in that. So I think it's advantage Monomoy Girl in the Apple Blossom, but we'll see how it plays out on the track.
I can't get over it. Like the race is over the Beholder Mile, and McPeak automatically just says maybe we'll hunt Monomoy, but he's got like a little look in his eye. And then like the next day, yep, we're going. We're definitely wherever she goes. So now Brad Cox can be prepared. So depending, like if you see Monomoy suddenly jump out or something, something's not right. If she suddenly isn't in the Apple Blossom and switches spots with She Dares the Devil or something, hopefully that doesn't happen though. Monomoy Girl.
You got it. If you're Monomoy Girl, you want her, man. Like I think that it helps you out because you think you can beat her and you want She Dares the Devil to go win in Churchill. So.
And then you've got Nick Feldman. This is a great question. I was thinking about this. Valiant's runner-up in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, won the Spinster at Keeneland. Slim's favorite horse to call in the Distaff. Ran a really nice race behind Monomer Girl. I don't know if she's back in training yet or not, but I'm sure they'll take it easy with her and maybe aim for the is it the Madison that's at Keeneland? That might be a turf race. There's a big Grade 1 dirt race. It might be the Madison at Keeneland. So I would expect to see Valiant's aim for that one, but that'd be curious too. Listen, compared to last year, Mike, when we had a really great distaff division this time of year, I think it's even better now than last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, CC's back in training. I don't know about Dunbar Road, if Dunbar Road retired or came back. One of the things that's awesome about the fillies is that the boys are like literally the insurance bill is more than the money that you can make running these horses once they're proven champions at the 3-year-old age. They all retire. The fillies, you're getting to see some of these horses run as 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and that makes the depth of this division specifically just so much deeper than the boys' side. And so it's exciting. You got 2 true superstars, and you've got 4 or 5 horses that I believe are up-and-comers that could one day take a shot or swing and has a puncher's chance at 20-1. We'll put it that way, right? Like you throw Dunbar Road in here, you throw Valiance in there, like you throw CC in there, you throw My Girl Ollie's Candy in there. One of them could make a score. Yeah, Moonlight D'Oro, a 3-year-old, has a legit shot later in the year against these horses. So, well, maybe not legit shot, but she's another one with a puncher's chance against Monomoy and Swiss, and that makes it exciting. That the A+ game of like 4 or 5 horses can make life a living hell for Swiss and Monomoy, and that's cool.
I'm going to predict Moonlight does what Harvest Moon did last year. She's going to steadily step up when the Torrey Pines at Del Mar, when the Zenyatta at Santa Anita, go to the Breeders' Cup Distaff, which can be at Del Mar, right on her home dirt, I should say. So that's a good one. Hey, Aaron's listening. Aaron logged in for like 2 seconds on the back end and disappeared. She Dares the Devil is one you better not write off. 99 buyer first race out, has beaten Swiss Skydiver. Was it a 99 buyer? I thought it was lower than that. But either way,
it's close. You know, okay. This is a puncher's hit. No, it was 99. Latruska and she got 99. It's a puncher's chance. I mean, that to me, like this, she's one of in that group where she can jump up and win and beat these horses. And what was she 20-something to 1 the day she did? Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly, the day she did beat Swiss. So I think that's another one you can add to the list. And Cox obviously knows how to get him going, but I'm not sure that we see Cox face or we see him or She Dares the Devil face Monomoy and Swiss. I mean, I would expect that Monomoy and She Dares the Devil are going to be split apart, especially because I don't know how much further She Dares the Devil really wants to go.
She did get the Kentucky Oaks, which I think is a 1 1/8 race. But you definitely don't want to take her longer than that. And it was a close race with a 1 1/8. And if I remember correctly, Swissy had a little bit of a trip trouble in that race. Let's talk about faster 16th of a mile. Oaklawn Saturday was run fastest. 1 1/16th mile race at Oaklawn was run by She Dares the Devil, which
then it was really run by Latruska because Latruska had a much worse trip and missed by a nose.
Well, it's faster than what Concert Tour ran in the $1 Million Rebel Stakes. We'll talk about this one last year. Grade 2 race, Kentucky Derby prep. You guys know what this race is. Concert Tour The big shock to me, Mike, I liked Caddo River. A lot. I thought Concert Tour should have been the favorite. 8-5. If I'd known 8-5 was going to be his price and Caddo River is 6-5, I think I would have put a good amount of cheddar on Concert Tour. Takes him gate to wire, geared down 4.25 lengths. 94 buyer. Doesn't quite match up with Life is Good or Essential Quality quite yet, but pretty impressive for his first time routing.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this, man. When Baffert ships a horse to Oaklawn for the Rebel, he's tipping his hand. It's his second best horse.
Yep.
I mean, his best horse is going to run at Santa Anita. His second best, generally. I mean, obviously there are going to be some caveats. And his second best horse usually goes out to Oaklawn, and he's running in the Rebel, and then going on the Arkansas Derby. It's exactly what we saw here. You know what I mean? Like, and was I surprised that Concert Tour did this? Not at all. I was a little surprised that Concert Tour sent and went right to the lead, and from that 7 post and really kind of demanded to get the lead, but then just kind of ran away from everybody. I do think that, a couple of these horses, I'm going to go back and I want to watch this a couple of times because I thought a couple of the trips were interesting. I think it was Big Lake who probably should have gotten second but got interfered with. And so that horse coming back, I think might be interesting. I will say, feel pretty vindicated about keeping me in mind here. I like that. Like, goodbye. Not interested in you anymore. Cattle River kind of, I think Cattle River is one that you could probably play back depending on the price because this was just a tough spot. And for Concert Tour to just run Cattle River off of its shoes, and it was over. So we'll be interested to see what they come back as. But look, it's Baffert 1-2, and I would say it's Baffert, and then you can put Essential Quality there. But those three are clearly the top three. And if you don't have those as your top three, please reassess what you're doing right now. They are the best 3-year-olds.
Oh man! Imagine working for the very company that puts on the Kentucky Derby. You've never picked the Kentucky Derby winner once. And you don't have all 3 of those horses in your top 3. Hell, not even in your top 4. So, well, listen, this is why this game is great. Everybody has their opinion, and their wrong opinions give us better prices on our right ones.
I can't believe Concert Tour was $1.70 a year. This was another steal where it's just like, I just head shaker.
I mean, there's so many comparisons, rightfully so, are being drawn to Nadal, who literally did this last year. Debut early in the 3-year-old season, win the San Vicente, win the Rebel. Nadal ended up winning one of the 2 Arkansas Derbies and would have been probably the favorite in the Kentucky Derby if it hadn't been rescheduled. So following that path, I don't know that he's necessarily going to be favored. I think Life is Good. Maybe even Essential Quality could take some money on him. But let's consider he's going to go to the Arkansas Derby. He's got to be the favorite at that race, right?
I mean, I'm not going to. I would assume so. I don't know who could ship in.
That's the thing. Who could ship in?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Greatest Honor ships in and people get all excited about it, but Greatest Honor is going to Florida Derby, so that's not going to happen. And then you're like, maybe Essential Quality runs there, but it sounds like Essential Quality is going to be in Keeneland, so that's probably not going to happen. So, those are the only 4 horses that could fight favoritism amongst each other at this point. It's just those 4 horses, and everyone else is going to be a dog to one of those. I'm not saying those are the 4 best. I'm just saying they will be the favorites wherever they run next.
So this doesn't make any sense to me, any more sense than Concert Tour me 8-5, and Nick brought it up. So we talked about Nick hit the daily double with CZ Rocket into Concert Tour. CZ Rocket into a Bob Baffert trained horse in the Rebel, Mike, paid 10-1 for the daily double. How?
Well, I mean, I didn't have CZ Rocket, so that's how. I mean, I think it's.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, well, I used it. It was in my deep tickets, but I didn't use it. I think I used it in the pick 4, but nothing else. I was against CZ Rocket, and I think that's really the shakeup. I think that Whitmore took a ton of money in the doubles, and that's going to set up why. Like, and if you look at the two, CZ Rocket and Whitmore, I think personally, and this obviously I was wrong here. Whitmore is the one you want and kind of covers CZ Rocket because CZ Rocket hadn't beaten Whitmore before, and you've seen Whitmore win and loves this track. I mean, so a lot to me, and a lot of race. To me, a lot of it just pointed to people played Whitmore pretty heavy. Also, you beat both favorites, right? I mean, that's a second choice daily double. Those are going to pay a lot better than one with a favorite second choice or favorite.
Yeah, Whitmore being favored, I understand that one. That he was trying to win that race for the race that should be called the Whitmore Stakes. I think you're right about that. He's trying to win for the 5th straight time. I get why people were trying to bet him. Caddo River 6. That was too short. And Brad Cox afterwards said, "I don't have any excuses." So not good for the Caddo River train. Keep me in mind. I think his bad effort. I think a lot of that was due to his training got disrupted. Now, neither of us have thought of him as a win candidate. Definitely not for the Derby and in these preps either. So. My opinion didn't change on him. I thought that he got really screwed up by training, and he should do better next, but I don't want to play him probably higher than 3rd in the Arkansas Derby, assuming that's where he shows up.
Yeah, he's probably somewhere in there. I mean, he was probably the second best horse in this race, not the fifth, but the way it played out in his training affected him. And so I agree with you in the stance that I don't think he can win, so I won't play him in any multi-race stuff. But underneath, I think he's a usable horse and playable. We'll see how he runs back. He also, like I said, Concertor absolutely took it to him. I don't think anyone was expecting that, right? Where it's just go, go, go. And it forced Cattle River to be uncomfortable in the backstretch. He was pulling. If I watched that replay again today, two things that jump out. Cattle River never settled in the backstretch, and Concertor was literally foaming at the mouth. Literally foaming at the mouth. So, yeah, I'm interested in Cattle River somewhat coming back. But I can tell you this. I'm not interested in anything under 10-1 on top with Cattle River. Then I would start getting intrigued. Give me double-digit odds. But I'm not sure we'll ever get that.
Great question here from Michael Myers. Would you take a Derby future bet? You're going to get even money to have Life is Good Concert Tour and Essential Quality versus the field. Which way do you side on that? Oh,
I'll take those three all day.
Yeah.
I think those are the top three, and it's not close. Like that, and they all have, like, the thing is, like, Life is Good and Concert Tour, if one of them learns to rate, you have one going, one will rate, and then you have Essential Quality. Like, you're covering every angle of a pace, a wire-to-wire winner, a stalking winner, and a pace collapse winner. Like, and it's the best three horses. So for me, that's a pretty easy decision. I would say, what three horses are you excited about if it's not those three? You're hoping for a 15-1 shot to come in, right? And yeah, it's horse racing. Anything can happen, obviously, but I would definitely take the even money side on Life is Good, Concert Tour, and Essential Quality.
And also, to yes and that, if one of those gets hurt, which, unfortunately statistics say is going to happen, one of them's going to miss the Derby, the other two are just as good as the one that got hurt. So even if it's the Brad Cox horse that's out, all right, well, I've got Baffert's A and A minus. Okay, and even money, that's a. I don't know. Even money's tight, but
I'm also down on Greatest Honor, and I don't think Prevalence was as impressive second time out as first time out. And I'm not sure who else is going to come out of California. And so then it's like, okay, pretty much it's the Louisiana horses that I'm worried about.
Midnight Bourbon.
And so I'm going to take these three over the Louisiana 3 and then see what happens.
But if it's the Louisiana 4 and we can include Starring in My Dreams with that, I might be convinced to take it.
I thought you were going to talk Hot Rod Charlie and I was going to have to smack you down.
Oh, no. Decided by Oxbow standing at Calumet Farm. Was there a track bias at Oaklawn, Dr. Tang asked? 12 furlong race had a track record side by a horse that never ran 8 furlongs. I will say that 12 furlong race was in its second ever edition, so I don't know how often they run 1.5 miles at Oaklawn, but that's only the second time they've ever done that stakes race. So I wouldn't read too much into that. But I did notice, and I saw this conversation on Twitter, you had to be either on the lead or pretty close at Oaklawn. Did you happen to notice that, Mike? Was it more a case of the best horses were just the fastest horses? What'd you think?
Well, I would say the best horses generally are the fastest horses.
Fastest early, damn it. Thank you. I needed to be called out on that.
Yeah, no, look, I think Oaklawn played fast. Like, I think that it was just track bias to me isn't necessarily how fast the races were run. It is a specific spot on the track, be it the rail, be it up front, be it the middle of the track, faster than the other part of the track. I think that you just had a couple horses that ran really fast. I think the track was playing quick, right? So which also means speed generally has an advantage because if they're running faster in the final furlong or final eighth home, it's hard to close. So I would say that the track was playing to speed and was playing fast because of that. I agree with Magic though. You do have to worry about how well they're also the two best horses of that race. They like coming from off the pace. So that was set up for them too. And there's quite a bit of speed in the sprint.
That was the exception, I would say.
But all the times were good, and that's what I'm saying. So yes, you had a track record, but the mile and 16ths were run on the same day, same track within a couple of hours of each other. That is a pretty good apples to apples comparison. And with that comparison, you see the difference between how fast the older fillies ran and how fast Concert Tour ran. So I think that is a fair comparison to make between the two.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic Mike Show. Thanks so much for joining Mike and I live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or for joining us on the replay. Thanks so much. We appreciate that. However you're watching or listening, do us a quick favor. Give us a like, a thumbs up, whatever it is on the device. Really helps us out a lot. This week at RacingNews.com, it is Louisiana Derby week, so Aaron's preview will actually be live on the site probably before the end of the day today. So he's already got that written. Thank you, Fairgrounds, for having everything out and published for us already. Big, exciting 100-point prep, the first one, Mike. We've got Midnight Bourbon in there. We've got Starring in My Dreams there. If we don't have some goddamn good luck in this race, we're officially quitting the league before we fall into last place because you can't get last if you're not in it.
There you go. I like this plan. I don't see how this plan backfires.
No, not at all. No, especially not when we're the biggest heel team in the entire fantasy league. It's not close for second, and everybody loves to see us suffer. So, yeah, not too great for us. The racing action is going to heat up. Like I said, we got Fairgrounds coming up. We're not doing a guide this week, but we're going to take it off partially because Fairgrounds just lets every horse cross-enter in every race, and it's not that fun. Plus, you never know about the weather. But I will tell you, after that, Mike, we've got the Florida Derby guide we will be having to end March on the 27th. And then it's Bluegrass season, Arkansas Derby season, Apple Blossom season, Kentucky Derby, Preakness. Oh, yeah, and the baby's coming too. So lots of stuff happening coming up this week. How did the Summer Bombs do this week? I didn't mean to ask you that earlier.
Oh, it was a hit or miss weekend. We cashed on Friday, but everyone cashed on Friday. We hit a $10 pick four on Saturday, which paid for a good portion of the day. Sunday was empty at Gulfstream. Gulfstream's tough every now and then. So it was one of those hit or miss weekends for us, but we'll be back at it next weekend. I'm going to take a look at a couple cards and then kind of decide where to go. From a tournament scene perspective, things are starting to get rolling. There's a $200,000 online tournament on April 4th, so make sure you check that out. Keeneland has their Grade 1 Gamble, which you can qualify for, coming up on April 10th. So those are two big-time tournaments. And got to give a shout-out to Craig Rowe, too, who's one of the Magic Mike Army, who won won $15,000 in the 25K guarantee on Saturday. So congratulations, Craig. Way to go, buddy. It's fun to see, you get all these DMs from people who are like, hey, love the show. Totally got into tournaments. Wanted to tell you I just won a shitload of money. Those are fun DMs. I like getting those.
Well, have you ever had it when it was a contest, like a big contest that you really wanted and you didn't win, and the winner's like, hey, thanks for helping me. I just beat your ass.
I was live to the 10 for that tournament. So if the 10 had won that tournament, I would have won the 16 grand. So, but hey, I had a shot, and my horse didn't get home. I'm glad someone who listens to the show and kind of got into it did. So good for him, man.
If it can't be us, let it be someone else in the Magic Mike Army. That's what we're saying. If we don't hit the tickets, Chris Holtz hit it. That's the nice thing about that.
It's a lot of fun. I am going to be at Keeneland for the gamble. So I first time ever going to Keeneland. Super excited about it. Got my tickets. It's pretty pumped, man. I can't wait to be in Lexington. I only flew into Lexington, Kentucky when I was going to the Breeders' Cup at Churchill Downs. So excited to check out Lexington. Excited to check out the track.
Nice. Man, I was freaking COVID, almost cursed. Freaking COVID. I was supposed to go. No, I've been excited for like a year and a half. Because I'm going to Keeneland. I'm going to Keeneland next year because they told Keeneland they can have it back for Breeders' Cup next year. So I'll definitely be there for that. We will be back here on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. 2:30 p.m. Pacific. I'm telling you, I'm still in a fog from daylight savings. Do you know where you'd like to go, Mr. Samich?
No. I mean, we got. Oh yes. Come on, Magic.
I was teeing it up for you. Come on.
We're doing the Stronach 5. Okay, yeah. See, I'm still. I got the fog now. Yeah, We're doing the Stronach 5 this year. There's $100-something thousand carryover. We've never hit this puppy. I think we've tried it like 4 times and just come up empty on it. And it's $1 denomination. So I think it's we're doing Stronach 5. If you got a ticket, handicap before to have a ticket, shoot us contact@racingdudes.com. Send it in. Maybe we'll throw some fun tickets up too, or some fan tickets up so that we can get those on the show.
And if you go to manscaped.com and you purchase any product, use the code MAGICMIKE, all one word, MAGICMIKE. That's going to get you 20% off your purchase plus free shipping. Plus, if you screenshot it like several of you have and send it to us, somebody's going to be able to pick what we're doing on a future show, and you get to submit your ticket to go head-to-head with Mike and I as we do it on air. So it's a really exciting thing. Thank you to everybody who's already purchased and sent the codes. We'll reach out to you with more information as things progress. We want to take the month of March to kind of let everybody get into this and get the feel. By the way, the people who've ordered Manscaped, they've already told me that some of them already told me that they love it. So it's not just us. We've got actual Magic Mike Army, your fellow soldiers, also like the product. So go check that out. Mike, everybody's happy about the Stronach 5. This is going to be fun.
Dude, it's one of the Stronach 5 and the Golden Hour pick 4, two of the best bets in racing. And it's tough for us to cover those on non-carryover days because there's 10 winning tickets, there's 8 winning tickets, there's 12 winning tickets when it pays $3,000-$4,000. More than 10 people are betting the tickets when we give them out here. So it dilutes those pools. But when you get this $1 million, which I expect the Friday pool to be close to $1 million, it is totally worth it for all of us to take a swing at it because then you can get some pretty nice payouts.
I would be more than happy to split $1 million with 18 to 20 Magic Mike Army soldiers. Be more than happy to split that with you.
Let's just pull a Keeneland. We'll take down a third of the pool. How about that? Let's just take a third of the pool down.
I love it. We'll see you on Thursday for that one. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Curtis Kellard. He is at SummerBomb18, number 1, number 8. Corporate Overlords at racing_dudes. Remember, go to racingnews.com. We got all the previews, the picks, the analysis that you want. We will be back here on Thursday for the Stronach 5. Bring your PPs until then. I'm Magic.
And I'm Mike.
Good luck this week.
The Magic Mike Show, where you hear the experts speak. The Magic Mike Show. Tune into the show every week. The Magic Mike Show. You can trust the show is the bomb because it's being brought to you by RacingDudes.com.